Coming up tonight on YCN News, Hartford, Vermont police investigate a meth lab at an undisclosed residence. Dr. Alicia Harvey-Smith will be inaugurated this Friday as River Valley Community College's 10th president. And local author Scott Thomas Myers talks about his upcoming book signing at Violet's Book Exchange in Claremont, New Hampshire. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening and welcome to this Tuesday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Hartford, Vermont police are investigating a meth lab at an undisclosed residence in that Upper Valley town. Police received a tip early this morning about the site where a one-pot method of making the drug at home exists. A state police tactical and bomb squad, plus a hazmat team, worked with Hartford Police and Fire Department. After a search warrant was granted, the residence was inspected and evidence recovered of the meth lab found. The investigation continues. YCN News will bring you updates as they are made available. Vermont residents signing up online for medical insurance may have a better experience doing so. At least that's what state officials hope. Today in Montpelier, Governor Peter Shumlin announced Vermont Health Connect's online website is being taken down for repairs. The new company vendor working on website fixes is Optum. Optum is a technology company with locations around the country and offices worldwide. Optum employees have set up other states and federal healthcare exchange programs. The state made the decision to take down Vermont Health Connect after speaking with federal centers for Medicare and Medicaid service partners. November 15th is when the open enrollment period for healthcare for next year starts. State leaders want Vermonters to have an easier and quicker time doing so, per the nation's 2010 medical insurance law. In the meantime, payments through Vermont Health Connect can be made by mail or other options. All insurance plans remain in effect. Dr. Alicia Harvey-Smith will be inaugurated this Friday as River Valley Community College's 10th president. Activities this week at the college's 2 locations will culminate Friday morning in the ceremony at the school's Claremont campus. An event planned for tomorrow at its Keene location will focus on the college's partnering with area businesses. Friday's ceremony begins at 10 a.m. At 6 p.m. Friday night, a dinner at the Common Man will honor this year's recipient of the Walter R. Peterson Award. Hypertherm Vice President of Corporate Social Responsibility Barbara Couch is receiving the award. Walter Peterson championed public higher education, especially community colleges. He served as governor of New Hampshire from 1969 through 1973. What caused an 82-year-old woman from Cornish, New Hampshire to veer off Route 131 in Vermont while driving remains unclear. What is clear is that Lillian Hodgdon remains in serious condition at Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center in Lebanon. Police responding to the accident yesterday around 11:40 p.m. note in a press release that Hodgdon may not have been wearing a seatbelt when the car crashed. There were no other cars or people involved in the crash on South Mountain Road in Wethersfield. The 2013 Nissan Rogue she drove is totaled, with heavy front and rear end damage, say police. It likely was a frightening experience, too, for Hodgdon. When the car veered off a road curve, it went across the road, became airborne, and landed on its roof. First responders extricated Hodgdon. She was flown by helicopter to Dartmouth after first being taken by ambulance to Springfield Hospital. If anyone witnessed the accident and has not already spoken with the state police, please contact Corporal Mike Sorensen at the Rockingham Barracks. The number is 802-875-2112. Shrinking student enrollments at area public schools remain a concern for taxpayers. How to pay to maintain a building that becomes too big for an existing student body troubles school officials. The Newport School Board took a step Monday night to encourage more out-of-town students to enroll next year in its schools. The board lowered its tuition rates, the Eagle Times reports. A unanimous 4-0 vote sanctioned the vote last night. It is the younger students that the reduced prices could attract from other school districts. Current enrollment in grades K through 12 is 949, says SAU 43 Public Relations Officer Becky Nelson. Cost to attend Newport schools for elementary and middle schoolers for the 2015-16 will now be $12,650. That's a $432 decrease for elementary students and a $665 cut for middle school pupils. Out-of-town tuition for grades 9 through 12 will not be changed from this year. That amount is $15,045, says Nelson. School Board Chair Liz Hennig says this is a business decision, keeping first and foremost in mind the taxpayer. When YCN News returns, we'll take a look at the Vermont Mac and Cheese Challenge from this weekend, and we'll hear from local author Scott Thomas Myers on his upcoming book signing in Claremont.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. This past Sunday on September 14th, a Vermont park was filled with cheese lovers for a special contest. Let's take a look at some of the delicious fun from the competition. For someone who hates to cook but loves mac and cheese, this was a great place for me to be. I'm at the Vermont Mac and Cheese Challenge in Windsor at the Artisan Park.
This is a fly-off-the-handle concoction. Came up with that this week.
Wow.
We do a lot of like tomato basil bruschetta.
Tried a delicious tomato basil mac and cheese from Big Fatty's Barbecue, but now I'm with the executive chef from Ovations with their bourbon maple bacon mac and cheese.
Very good. You got it. Yeah. Maple bacon bourbon mac and cheese, and we use the Farmstead Cheddar Ale. I try, in Ovations to use as many local ingredients as we can, obviously the cheese being one of them.
Is this a great event to introduce yourself to new customers?
Killington obviously is phenomenal ski mountain, but we've got so much food and beverage going on there as well. We've done the winter in August in Rutland. To get over here, this is our first time here. Huge turnout, great weather, just a phenomenal day, So to have 20 different venues here, all having a good time, it's friendly competition, it's just good fun.
I'm with Amy and Tamra from Rutland who have been sampling some mac and cheese here today. So what are your favorites so far?
Well, I've tried quite a few and trying to narrow it down. I like the Norwich Inn and also the King Arthur flour was very good, and the Worthy Kitchen. Yes, my favorite. Yeah.
It's so hard because all of them are so awesome, but the Worthy Kitchen was really good, and then there was the buffalo chicken one.
I'm with Catherine, Rachel, Annie, and Eli who are sampling some mac and cheese today. So, who wants to tell me their favorites?
Oh, I like the lobster one from the other 10. I don't remember where it's from, but the one with the lobster in it was amazing.
I love them all. They're so good.
Oh, and the one from Pine too. It had bacon. Oh my God, that was really good.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
I think I will form a consensus in that Pine is my favorite so far. I've only sampled 1/10 though, so I still have like a whole nother 10 of samples to make it through. So.
I've tried a lot of great mac and cheese recipes today, but to me they're all winners, just like today has been. I'm Rose Spillman for YCN reporting to you from the Artisan Park in Windsor, Vermont. Proceeds from the Mac and Cheese Challenge will benefit the Vermont Food Bank and Sustainable Woodstock. If you'd like to learn more about the event, check out the website at vtmacandcheese.com. Getting outdoors in fall is a great way to get some fresh air. Claremont Park and Rec leaders want to hear from people who walk the trails at Moody Park what can be improved. Next Monday night at the Claremont Savings Bank Community Center, a forum to talk about a new trail plan. Trail planning and building company Sinuosity from Morrisville, Vermont is studying the trails at Moody Park. The forum is open to anyone who has an interest in the Moody Park trails. You do not have to be a resident of Claremont to attend. For more information, please contact Mark Brislin at 603-542-7019 or email at mbrislin@claremontnh.com. This Saturday, September 20th, will be a big day for Claremont, New Hampshire, as it celebrates the city's 250th birthday. A variety of fun activities is sure to be in store, but if you're a book enthusiast, you might want to check out one special event for that day. Violet's Book Exchange, located on the Opera House Square, will host a book signing with a local New Hampshire author, Scott Thomas Myers. Let's hear what Myers has to say about the books he will be bringing to this event.
Hello, my name is local author Scott Thomas Myers. I'm sitting outside of Violet's Book Exchange in Claremont, New Hampshire. The book that I'm holding now is called Battered Shadows. This is a coalition of authors from around the world who have written about their life of abuse and the hope. And all the proceeds from this book, whether it be online or in person, go to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. Abstract Reality is a book of poetry that I put together. It is about my life, my illness that I have faced for 14 years. It also talks about hope, desire. Emerging from the Shadows is another book of poetry that I have written. This book talks of hope to those who are going through the same trials and tribulations that I have faced. And Never Forgotten the Journey is an autobiography of my life. It talks about my life and the abuse I suffered as a child and as a teenager. It also talks about my relationship with God as an ordained minister for 13 years and the events that led me away from that ministry, and all the mistakes and choices that I made personally that led me back to the road where I am today. My goal as a writer is to empathetically, lovingly reach out and be a light to the people in this community that are facing battles of addiction, loss, hopelessness, people who are searching for something to fill the void in their life. On the 20th, starting at 10 a.m., there will be a big book signing event, and I hope to see you all there.
Thanks, Scott. Saturday's event is scheduled to begin at 10 a.m. and continue until the books run out, so get there while you can. If you're interested in learning more about the author and following his latest work, you can find him on Facebook at facebook.com/BlackSatinInkPoetry or follow him on Twitter at ScottMyers2013. When YCN News returns, we'll join Upper Valley Chronicles Ann Holmes, who met with Bob Lurvy to talk about the Live Free or Die Riders fundraiser.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next few days and then move on to sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tonight we'll have patchy fog after 2 a.m. with partly cloudy skies and lows in the 40s. Tomorrow morning will be foggy until around 9 a.m. We're expecting sunny skies with winds up to 5 miles per hour and a high of 65 degrees. Wednesday night will be mostly clear with lows around 46 degrees. Thursday will be mostly sunny with a high of 59 degrees and winds between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Thursday night will be cooling down to bring lows in the 30s with mostly clear skies. As you can see here, skies are mostly clear with occasional fog in the early morning hours. Now let's see what's coming up on our community calendar. Tomorrow in New Hampshire, the Hanover Farmers Market will begin at 3 p.m. In Woodstock, Vermont, the Market on the Green will be held at 3 p.m. Tomorrow evening, the Danbury, New Hampshire Selectmen will meet at 6 p.m. In Charlestown, New Hampshire, the Select Board will meet at 6:30 p.m. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. And now let's turn to some exciting high school sports games that happened last evening. The Sunapee Lakers boys soccer team demonstrated their power yesterday after achieving a 4-1 victory over Hinsdale. The Lebanon girls field hockey team also netted another win. This time their opponent was Goffstown High School. The final score of that game was 4-2. YCN will bring you more sports results tomorrow.
Thanks, Matt. When YCN News continues, we'll join Capital Connections' John O'Connor, who met with New England College professor Wayne Lesperance.
The YCN News continues in a moment.